So I'm just making a video to, this is the easiest way to explain this whole concept. But basically somebody on Facebook posted this photo, after 2 years loan in the United States, Michelangelo's David is being returned to Italy. And he got obese, ha ha ha, blah blah blah, sponsored by McDonald's, Starbucks, and Burger King. And I was asking, why is Starbucks in there? Because they have high sugar food, and that shouldn't make people fat, right? But wait, you still think sugar makes people fat? So I looked up one of the favorites, something that was fully loaded with sugar, a little Starbucks thing, because there's no Starbucks in Chronometer. So I looked up a what's it called? Cinnamon Dolce Latte. And I took the 12 Oz, I don't know how you pronounce that, but whatever, and I put in soy milk, and I didn't put in the whipped cream because that's gonna make you fat. So here we have the nutrition facts, and I put that into Chronometer. So now it gets really interesting because I listed a few items for you here, because we're talking about Starbucks, Burger King, and McDonald's, and I all made these 500 calorie meals. So we're leveling the playing field here. So now we're gonna look at where those calories come from, because not all calories are created equal. So we have the Starbucks. Wait, I'll show you this first. So we have a McDonald's Big Mac here. It's 0.89 parts of one Big Mac, so that's nearly a whole Big Mac. I guess you would leave the last 2 bites on your plate, and that would yield you 500 calories, right? Cool. And then we have the Burger King Whopper with cheese, which is 2/3 of a Whopper with cheese, which is also 500 calories. And then we have the Starbucks Cinnamon Dolce Latte with soy milk and no added cream. You'd have to drink 2.5 of those. This is the near smallest size here. So that's also 500 calories. And for good measure, I put in 500 calories of French fries, 500 calories of potatoes, because French fries are potatoes, right? And carbs make you fat. So I put in, oh shit, my battery's dying. Fuck. Anyway, bananas I put in there as well, 500 calories, and dates, medjool, 500 calories. And you can see the amounts here. So this will be 3.5 medium potatoes, or 1.3 of the French fry servings. And then the bananas would be 5.5 small bananas, so that's like a bunch of small bananas, or 7.5 pitted medjool dates. So those are the big squishy ones. Okay, so we're back with a new battery. Let's let the camera focus for a second here. There we go. So we've leveled the playing field. All these food items are 500 calories. So now what I'm going to do, if I would eat all of this junk food and a few healthy things in one day, I would total 3,500 calories. And that in itself is not a big deal. I myself need a minimum of 3,000 calories. How do I know that? Well, I put in my body weight and everything in this program Chronometer, but I tested it, and it seems like 3,000 calories for me as a short, kind of lean male is adequate. And I did manage to raise my metabolism eating high-carb. I will get into that a little later. So now we get into where all those calories come from. So first, let's look at the McDonald's Big Mac, because everybody knows Big Macs, eating too much of that is bad for you, right? So now we see a Big Mac has green is protein, blue is carbs, and red is fats. And this has 51% of its calories coming from fat. That's the grease the burger was fried in, the animal fat in the burger itself, and the oil in the mayonnaise, and the cheese, and in the whatever, all the sauces, and there's probably a little bit of oil in the bun as well. So that's more than half of the percentage of this, of the energy in this food is coming from fat. And it's no surprise that your body doesn't really know what to do with that other than to store it. A mere 1/3 is from carbohydrates, and 80% is from protein. Animal protein and wheat protein. So we can see here the actual grams, and you would notice something pretty weird, right? Because there's more grams of the carbohydrates than there is of the fats. There's 29 grams of fat and 39 grams of carbohydrates. So why, big mystery, is this 51%? Because in the percentage it says more than half is coming from fat, and in the grams it says there's more carbohydrates in there. Well, this is due to a phenomenon known as I actually don't know a name, but it sounds nice. Anyway, this is due because both protein and carbohydrates, they have 4 calories per gram. Remember that. And fats, they have 9 calories per gram. So that's more than double. So if you have 1 gram of carbohydrates and 1 gram of fat, and you would put that together, that would be somehow some kind of food, you would probably say like, oh, it's 1 gram carbohydrates, so therefore it's 50% carbohydrates. Wrong. 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. 1 gram of fats is 9 calories. So that makes a total of 13 calories. And let me do the math on that. So if you calculate that, 1 gram, so if you do 50-50 in weight, carbohydrates and fat, then your 1 gram of carbohydrates would make up 31% of the total calories, the 13 calories, and the 9 calories from the 1 gram of fat would make up 69 calories, almost 70%. And why is that? Because in nature, fat is a more concentrated form of energy. That's why we're using fossil oils as fuel in cars and not making ethanol from corn or stuff, because it's not so efficient. It's better. Well, that's economics, but whatever. So that's the McDonald's Big Mac. It has 86% of the recommended 10% of calories. That's another thing, it's hard to explain, but anyway, so if this isn't bad enough, that there's half of this thing is built up out of fat, there's also what the human body needs. Now, opinions vary about this, but the body doesn't run on fat. Don't believe Sally Fannin or all those other people. The body requires a certain ratio of fats, carbohydrates, and protein. And in my lifestyle, we have found that 10% of protein and 10% of fat and 80% of carbohydrates works best. And if you look at this food, come on, focus. It doesn't have that ratio. It has 18, 31, 51, and ideally for me this should be 10, 80, 10. So that's how you can see that this 51 into that 10% margin greatly exceeds its limits. It's going way off the chart for just eating not even one Big Mac. So now we're gonna look at the Whopper. Oh look, they're just a little bit different. The Whopper has cheese on it, with cheese, there we go, and it has even more fat, less carbohydrates, and the same amount of protein. Because cheese is pretty much fat and there's a little protein in there. So you can see that. Now we're gonna switch over to the Starbucks Cinnamon Dolce Latte without cream and soy milk. Bam! It's a lot better. But still, you know, the soy milk is gonna add a lot of protein. But the problem with the Starbucks food is that there's refined sugar, sucrose, in there. It's not gonna make you fat, but it sure as hell isn't a health food as well, because there's no fiber with all the sugar. It's processed, it's refined, and anything refined is not good for you. Just like oil, it's refined, there's no fiber in there to deliver everything slowly to your body and make it absorb it. Anyway, so 16% fat, that's still a lot, and 15% protein is still a lot. But this is gonna make you less fat. If you cut out the cream of all those Starbucks and you would just have a coffee, there's no actual calories in coffee. Maybe if there's a few, but coffee itself doesn't really provide energy. The only thing it does is it unlocks the energy in your reserves. So we have the McDonald's Big Mac. So now we come to the French fries, and this is where it gets interesting, because French fries are high carb food, right? Think again. Yes, the majority of this food is carbohydrates, and also a very big portion, if not almost equal, is fats. You would say, yeah, but which one is causing us to be fat now? Because it's pretty much equal and there's a little bit of protein in between. So which one is it? Because if you would eat French fries all the time, you could blame either of these two, right? That's a valid argument, I admit. But now we come to the boiled potatoes. 500 calories of boiled potatoes versus 500 calories of McDonald's French fries. Here we go. Bam! Where is all this fat gone? Inherently in potatoes there's 1% of the calories coming from fats. And take into account that the fat counts more as double, so there is very little fat in there. It doesn't even register here. There's 0 point something grams of fat. There's 116 grams of protein in the forms of complex starches, and there's a little bit of protein in there. So this protein amount wouldn't exceed 10%. The fat is not nearly going to reach anything near 10% soon, and the 93 is going to help your body run and fuel. Anyway, so it's very clear now what the difference between potatoes and French fries is, right? What did we do to the French fries? Yes, we dipped them into pure oil, pure fat, and it sticks in the French fries. So that's what happens. You just add a whole bunch of fat. You add 25 grams of fat, which is there was 1% there, so it is 45. You go from a food that has 1% fat to having 46% fat. That's pretty shocking, isn't it? And you can see what it does to your body. I mean, come on, focus. French fries, boiled potatoes. French fries, boiled potatoes. French fries, boiled potatoes. French fries, boiled potatoes. Do we have to repeat this? This is gonna fuck up your blood flow, your oxygen uptake. If you want to get cancer, you know, cancer survives in a, or thrives in a in an environment that is depleted of oxygen. If you have too much fat in your bloodstream, there's not enough oxygen reaching all your cells. Of course, you're gonna get fat on this shit. It's basically bad news. And this is 1 1/3 of a medium serving of French fries. Take a look at what you're fucking putting in your body. Okay, so now we have 500 grams of bananas. Yep, which is about 5.5 bananas. Again, the bananas, very low in fat. Yes, there is protein in bananas. There's probably a lot of people who didn't know this yet. There's all this sugar in bananas. Yes, but there's a lot of fiber in there as well, which makes it very steadily and easily digestible for the body, and you can use it. You're not gonna get a big sugar spike the same as you would get from drinking Coca-Cola or something. This is what natural food looks like. This is what artificial food looks like. Natural food, artificial food, natural food, artificial food. Dates. Come on. Dates have so little fat, it doesn't really even show on the little chart. Dates, they are a dried fruit, so I don't recommend, because they kind of tend to stick on your teeth, but you can make very tasty Gatorade, or if you're into doing a little bit of sports, you can take them with you on runs and bikes. But I prefer the fresh fruit, the bananas, and if you want, have potatoes, stuff like that. So you want anything that is high in the carbohydrates. That's gonna fuel your body, your brain, your muscles, all your cells. The body doesn't really do well on mostly fat. There's a lot of people claiming that, but that doesn't really work that way. So anyway, thanks for watching. Somebody's at my door, and I hope this kind of got the point across. Don't fear sugar. Well, fear artificial sugar, and stay away from fat.